So we are going to solve this equation, these equations. These equations all have one x term. I know when you're looking at this one, you say, oh, there's the x here, there's the x here, there's x here. But once we combine like terms and distribute, you will find out that we only end up with one x term. And when we have one x term, we use the isolation technique by going through the PEMDAS backward. So we go through PEMDAS this way. We get rid of the value that is being added or subtracted, then multiplied or divided, then the exponent, then the parentheses. But we need to take care of all the distributions. We have to combine like terms. Once we are done with all that, then we go through the PEMDAS. So I have only one x. I'm trying to find out what x will make both sides equal to each other. By looking at it, I know that 2 is the solution because 2 plus 1 is going to be 3. So the solution to this equation is 2, but then we want to learn the techniques for problems that are not so obvious. So I see that 1 is being added to x, so I subtract 1. Then I get x is equal to 3, take away 1 is 2. X is equal to 2 is the solution to this equation. For the next problem, I see that I have x on both sides. So first, I'm going to subtract this x from both sides. X minus x is 0. I have 2x here and negative 1x. They're like terms. I can combine them. I have 2x, take away an x. I'm left with one more x. And now I'm just going to go through PEMDAS. I look to see if anything being added or subtracted to x. I see there's a subtraction, so I do add 12 to both sides. And now x is isolated, is by itself, and I have 12 as the answer. So the answer to this problem is 12. In the next problem, I have multiplication here, or distribution. Then I have a 3x here, which I want to move it to the other side. And then combine like terms, and then we take it from there. So let's see what happens. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. I combine like terms. I have 5x and 2x. This negative belongs to 5. 5x, positive 2x. 5x over here, 2x over here. I have 7x minus 5. I subtract 3x from both sides. I get 7 minus 3 is 4x. Now I have an equation with one x term, and when I have one x term, then I just go through PEMDAS. I see that something is being subtracted from x. I add 5. I get 4x is equal to 5, and 5 is 10. Then I divide because I have a multiplication by x. I divide both sides by 4. I get x is equal to 10 over 4. But 10 over 4 can be reduced. Both are divisible by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the answer is 5 halves. For this problem, I distribute x, 8. I get 8x. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. I'm going to combine like terms. I have an 8x and minus 2x. So 8x take away 2x is 6x. Those are like terms. The sign for 2x is here. This negative belongs to 16. I have a negative 16 and negative 4. They're like terms. Negative 16 and negative 4 is negative 20. We are going to add 20 to both sides. We get 6x is 20. We divide both sides by 6. 20 and 6 are reduced. Both are divisible by 2. I get 10/3. In this equation, I see that I have only one x term, so I added 10 to both sides. I get 3x to the power 2 is equal to 12. I have a multiplication, so I do division. I divide both sides by 3. I get x to the power 2. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Then I go after that is exponent. To get rid of the exponent, I put a radical on this side and a radical on this side, but the side that has a number, you have to put a positive negative. So let me just write this a little bit more clearly. So I was left with x to the power 2 is equal to positive 4. To get rid of that 2, you put a radical on each side. And the side that has a number, you put positive and negative. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of 4 is 2. You get positive negative 2. So your equation has a degree of 2. You're going to have positive and negative 2 solutions. Second root gives you 2 solutions. Again, I have one x term. I have to get rid of the number that is being added or subtracted. I see that I have a positive 45, so I subtract 45 from both sides. Then I want to get rid of the negative 5. I divide by negative 5. So then you get rid of the number that is being multiplied by dividing it by both sides. And I'm going to get x to the power 2. Negative divided by negative is positive. 45 divided by 5 is 9. We put a radical here and a radical here with positive negative. This is going to be x. The square root of 9 is 3. Positive negative 3 is the solution. This problem is a little bit different, but you still have one x term. Get rid of the number being subtracted. So you add 28 to both sides. So you end up with 7x minus 1 to the power 2 is equal to 28. Then get rid of the number that is being multiplied or divided. 7 is being multiplied. So divide by 7. These 7s cancel each other. 28 divided by 7 is 4. You get x minus 1 to the power 2 equals to 4. Get rid of the exponent. With radical to get rid of the exponent, the number side gets positive negative. The radical and the 2 drop, you get x minus 1. I got rid of the parentheses at this point. Positive negative 2. Lastly, get rid of this subtraction. Remember, it says addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponent, get inside the parentheses. Now we get inside the parentheses, we add 1. So what happens here? We have a positive negative 2 and a plus 1. So we get x is positive negative 2 plus 1. What does this mean? Nothing. It means x is positive 2, positive 1. Write one equation for that. And then another equation for the negative 1, negative 2, positive 1. This is positive, but this 2 has 2 signs. One time write the positive 2 and positive 1. One time write the negative 2 and positive 1. So positive 2 and positive 1 is 3. Negative 2 and 1. One number is negative, one number is positive. You end up subtracting. The bigger one is negative, so the answer is negative 1. So again, for this equation, you also have two solutions. The solutions are 3 and -1. So let's go over this one. We are going to get rid of the 5. We subtract 5. We are going to get rid of that -1, because in reality, this is a -1 here. So to get rid of that -1, you have to get rid of everything that is being multiplied or added to your x. So 5 is being added to this, and now -1 is being multiplied. First, you have to get rid of them. You must follow these orders for this technique to work. Negative and negative cancel each other. You get x plus 2 to the power 2. Negative over negative is +5. You want to get rid of these 2, put a radical and a radical. The number side gets positive negative radical. 2 and radical cancel each other. You get x plus 2. Now we go inside the parentheses. We want to get rid of that -2. Now x is isolated. So what is your answer? I like to put -2 first, then positive, negative, the square root of 5. What does it mean? It means one solution is -2 plus the square root of 5. And one answer is -2 negative the square root of 5. These are called exact answers. But if you want to find your estimation, the square root of 5 is about 2.23 or 2.24. So then you go -2 plus 2.24. That's an estimation, which is going to be 0.24 when you one number is negative, one number is positive. You end up subtracting. Again, this is 2.24, -2, -2.4. One number is negative, the other is negative. Add, you get -4.24. These are your exact answers. These are the estimations. You have two more. This problem is called a rational equation. And when you have rational equations like this is the technique I recommend. So you have one term here and one term here. And you're allowed to, for these situations, put this x here and get rid of that x. And put the 3, multiply 3 by 8 and get rid of that 3. So you multiply the bottom of one side by the top of the other side. So I get 8 times 3 equals to 2 times x, and the denominators are gone. So 8 times 3 is 24 equals to 2x. I want to solve for x. I divide by 2. I get x is 12. Now I want to solve this one. Again, I'm allowed to multiply x by that x and 5 by 2 and get rid of the denominators. This gives me 7x to the power 2. 2 times 5 is 10. I have 1x term, so I want to isolate it. I divide by 7. I get x squared is 10 over 7. I want to get rid of the exponent. I put a radical here and a radical here, but the side that is a number, you have to put positive and negative radical. So this is x, and the answer is positive negative square root of 10 over 7. And if you want to find an estimation to your answer, put this inside in a calculator to get an answer. So I stop here.